Hello and welcome to anyone and everyone who's decided to watch this video, and today I am finally once again talking about G.I. Joe Classified. Not because I haven't been getting figures, it's just I didn't feel like doing videos about the ones I got, or it took me so long that it felt not worth it to make them anymore. But I'm finally making one now for the newest figures of Zandar and the S.A.W Viper. And quickly, I just wanted to show off the box, the newest iteration of classified packaging. A little bit smaller, a little bit more, what would be the good word here? Hollywoodified, I guess, with all the black, making it all sleek. Very fitting for Cobra. Not necessarily the Joes, but there's a picture of Zandar on the side because I'm using Zandar's box. Got Zandar on the back showing off his features, being at the Dreadnok gas station from the comics. They're still doing these stat things that were on the G.I. Joe website, but I don't know if the G.I. Joe website is even up anymore. But that's the box. Now, here are the figures, and since Zandar is the named character, we will do him second, and we will focus firstly on our newest Cobra troop builder, the S.A.W Viper. But some people like to see the S.A.W Viper as his own character, because if you're not familiar with the original G.I. Joe comics from Larry Hama, the first time a S.A.W Viper ever appeared, it was in a very crucial combat zone where basically he executed 14 or so Joes because the Crimson Twins mistook an order from Cobra Commander to release the prisoners as to kill them. And the S.A.W Viper, who was just the one singular S.A.W Viper that was there, was the only one with the guts to do it. And yeah, I definitely like the idea of just playing off the S.A.W Viper as one guy. Also, I've never been the biggest army builder, but admittedly, Classified is the one toy line that has actually got me to do some army building. But I'm basically done with that. I don't want to do any more army building, except for maybe a couple more bats, a couple more alley vipers, given how many different variants they make of them, especially for the alley vipers, because I love that toy. But for all future Cobra troops, I'm basically one and done. Maybe Laser Viper, because I really like the Laser Viper. But S.A.W Viper was always going to be a one and done for me. And here he is. He is looking pretty nice. He's got very dark purples and magentas, which I believe are more true to the proper original O-ring design of the S.A.W Viper. Now, I'm used to the S.A.W Viper I already owned in the 4-inch line, where he is bright, bright purple from like the very end of the 4-inch line. That's the look I still think of when I think S.A.W Viper. But this one does look pretty good. He's very heavily armored, which feels correct for his designation as a heavy weapons expert. It feels right for him to be very padded up like this. Gives him a very mook feel. Like, this feels like a bad guy in like a Spider-Man game. Like the newer Spider-Man games from Insomniac. And since he's just out of the box, he does have some of that tight jointness that will go away with time. But, you know, he's got the standard articulation for a 6-inch figure from Hasbro. You know how it is. But of course, since he's classified, he's got the ball joint in the waist where the hinge in the upper torso. I do enjoy those ball joints in the waist, and you can see this piece, his collar is floating, so you can take that off if you want to and get a better look at his head sculpt. He's got a balaclava styled mask, although it does reveal his mouth, and there's a little headset in there for talking. This is a nice neutral head design. You could probably use this for some customized bad guys of G.I. Joe or any type of toy line. That's pretty nice. Honestly, you could just get rid of the Cobra symbol and have this be whoever for whatever fight. This, again, fighting Spider-Man would look pretty good. Yeah, his shoulder pad there is limiting his arm movement a little, but other than that, Yeah, he's got all the same movement. It's just the joints are pretty tight, so I can't really get the double knees to move right now, but I'll be able to work those in with time, so he'll do everything nicely. There's a little hint of green in his belt buckle, which is a nice touch of color. Now he has for accessories the Saw Viper helmet with the big green visor, and if we put this on him, it slides on very, very nice. It almost completely covers the head this time around, mostly just because of the collar. Like, you can tuck it in and have it be completely covered, and this actually looks really cool. I like this as opposed to the normal exposed mouth look like this. I think I'm gonna keep it tucked in like that. That's actually really nice. I like that style. Gives him more ambiguity. This is a really good look for somebody who wants to army build these. Actually, maybe have like one without the helmet so you can see this cool, admittedly cool head sculpt. To have that one be a commander, and then you could have all your troops be like this. That'd be pretty good for somebody who wants to make a squadron of Saw Vipers, but I am going to keep mine like this. That's definitely my preferred way to do this figure, at least right now, getting him out of the box. And he comes with this knife here. It's got a little serrated handle. I don't think serrated is the right word there. It's got the grips for his individual fingers. There's some little details in the blade. It's got the teeth on the back for cutting a rope. That, of course, can go in his hand. Surely be shocking if it didn't. So he can hold it just fine. But I assume he has a sheath somewhere. Yes, he does, here on his back. So we'll pull that out and put that in for now. And again, for smaller weaponry, it has this type of pistol. It has the port for blast effects, and there's an extended magazine coming out there. I don't know what type of pistol this is, if this is real or fantasy. It does feel a little sci-fi to me, even though I see some real-world elements to it, and I can believe this is a real-world gun, but it has a little bit of a sci-fi laser gun feel to me. But you can correct me if I'm wrong and tell me what type of real-world weapon this is supposed to be. So, yeah, he can use this for lesser combat, more quiet shooting. Definitely not the kind of gun a Saw Viper is known for using, but he's got it. Again, a good customization piece for building an army of these if you wish. And that has a little holster here on the hip. Slide that in just fine. Very well. And he's got a backpack. Not as many backpacks in G.I.Joe Classified, especially lately, but we still got some figures that come with them, and the Saw Viper has his. It's got pegs on both sides of it, so it goes in the back just fine. I don't know what this peg is for. I would assume it's for storing the big saw gun here, but I'm not seeing any specific port for doing that. It'd be really cool if he could have this mounted on his back, but I don't see a port for doing it. But still, before we get the gun in his hands, I would like to point out the bayonet chainsaw, which, as we knew from the promo images, could be removable, so you can just have him holding this in his hand as a little chainsaw sword dagger, which is very fun. I like that accessory. It's a very silly, fun idea, but it's cool to give a Saw Viper a literal saw. Take the Saw name literally. That's silly. It's fun. I like it. It's cute. It's a nice addition. But let's just get this back here. It just ports in right underneath the hinge at the top of the gun. I believe you can remove this as well. Yes, the little ammo box for filling it up. And I guess for the sake of I'm looking at the backpack, how the ammunition works. I'm not completely sure. Oh, maybe I have the backpack upside down. Hang on a minute. Because I'm thinking about how does this ammo strip go in. Let's look at his box. Okay, no, apparently it's right side up because he's wearing the backpack the way I have it on the figure. I guess you're just meant to put the ammo in on one end. Like, because he's only got one slot for the ammo and it's on this side of the backpack, but the gun has the slot on the other side, so I guess you just gotta loop it around, so we'll just have to do that. Work his hand around this big handle. This is a pretty gummy gun, as they have been recently with Classified, but prevents breakage. There we go. Get it, hold it a little crooked like this. I believe that's the right way. And then you slot this into his front hand, other hand. So he's holding it properly, and then just take the ammo belt, loop it around, and there's a tab right in there. And voila. At least the ammo belt is long enough to make this work, and oh, the chainsaw fell off. So you've got the Saw Viper holding the iconic Saw Viper gun. Oh, there goes the ammo belt. So, yeah, you've got the complete package here. Just get this in there again. And now we got the iconic look for the Saw Viper, or I guess I can just pull the mask back up to show the mouth again. Now we've got the iconic Saw Viper look, the character that struck so much fear into the fans of G.I. Joe, the murderer of so many beloved characters, and the Battle Force 2000. But, well, trying to get the camera adjusted here. And, yeah, he looks pretty nice. That's basically all there is to him. He is just a larger Saw Viper at 6 inches. There isn't like a million things here that make him different, but he is a nice figure on his own. He does feel different from like previous Cobra characters because we haven't really gotten a figure like this, even though there have been other heavy weapons Cobras over the years. This is the first one Classified has done. But like as just a figure on his own, he's not the most, oh my gosh, he does a million things, but he's doing what he does well. Like the couple of things. I'm liking him so far. Like, there's nothing really wrong here. He's just, I guess the fact that this keeps falling out is a little bit annoying. But, like, he's functioning pretty decently. Like, there's really nothing wrong done here. He's just another figure. And, yeah. I've been scaling back how many Classifieds I've been buying, too, recently, because at first I was like getting everything from this line just because I wanted to make sure it succeeded, but I mean we're long past that point. So it made sense to start focusing more and more on who I wanted, like what I truly desired from a Classified collection, and I definitely wanted a Saw Viper, and he's not my favorite figure or anything, but I like him. He's decent. He's just not the newest. Well, he is the newest thing. He's not the greatest thing Classified has ever produced, if that makes any sense, but, you know, he's here. I like him. He's just not a showstopper, if that makes any sense. So, we'll just put him in the back, and we'll focus on a character I've never had a toy of before, Zandar, the final member of the Zar triplets. I know that's not really the way to say their name or whatever, but, you know, Zandar, the twin of Zarana, the younger brother of Zartan. He's finally here, and let's hope he's good, because I haven't really liked the Dreadnoks much in Classified. I like Zartan enough. I really liked Zarana, but I haven't liked anyone else. I have Buzzer, Ripper, Torch, and Road Pig, but they all kind of disappointed me, especially Road Pig. So let's see Zandar here. His armor is more of a grayish blue than proper blue. Like you can see there's a little bit of blue in it, but it's really, really gray. And he's got this new detail of like these gold demon skulls, which is nice. Very fun little touch here. He's got little gold chains wrapped around this shoulder. He's got a lot of gold on him, actually. He's got a tat, like a lot of classified figures do, and it's of a Dreadnok style logo. And yeah, uh, his shoulder articulation also seems to be a little bit limited by his shoulder pads as well, so we're 2 for 2 on that for figures here, since I didn't get any of the Joes in this wave. I don't even remember which Joes were in this wave. I just know I didn't want them. I really love his face sculpt here. The red paint on his face looks really cool here. I used to think that in the cartoon, and whenever I look up that old O-ring figure, I always thought this looked a little weird, and it still looks a little weird here, but I like it a bit better. I think there's some personality here. I really like the sculpt of his scarf, too. Something I remember from the live stream where they revealed this figure, Hasbro, they said this is the torn off piece of Zarana's shirt because of them being twins and being close to each other or something weird like that. That just came off as really creepy and bizarre, especially because in Classified, Zarana's shirt isn't torn. They redesigned it to be like a fancy jacket thing. So, what is this scarf then? Also, the pinks do not match. Zandar's is definitely darker than Zarana's. But, like, that's some weird lore. I don't subscribe to that lore of Zandar's scarf. I'm not a fan of that decision. I mean, Hasbro can say what they want about the lore, and maybe you like that depiction of Zandar. Maybe it's interesting to you, but to me, I don't know. I think it's just a scarf, okay? It doesn't need to be a part of his sister's shirt. And yeah, again, he's got the basic articulation of a classified figure. He basically does everything you need him to do. He's a little bit more tight in the torso than Saw Viper was, and his shoulders are a little limited again, thanks to the shoulder pads, although there's some give in there. There's some give because of the soft plastic, so I think he moves a little bit more than the Saw Viper did. Again, very, very tight. His knees, again, just opened, so eventually these will get worked in and move more properly later. But for now, being fresh out of the box, they're very tight. But the legs definitely aren't hindered other than that, although the ankles seem to be... Oh, this one's kind of tight, though, this one. There we go, that one's moving. The ankles are a little bit more free than the knees, but yeah, his knees are going to need some serious working in. But overall, I'm liking him. Let's get a closer look at his pants. They're very ruffled, a bit baggy. Nice detailing here, and he's got very pirate-like boots. He's got a bit of a pirate-like feel in general, more than the other Dreadnoks did, which means if we ever get Zanzibar, the literal pirate of the Dreadnoks, maybe him and Zandar. Wait a minute, did I say Zandar twice? Zanzibar, the literal Dreadnok pirate. Him and Zandar would look pretty good with each other, I think, depending on how they depict Zanzibar. So again, accessories. He has his own backpack. I believe this is true to the way the vintage one looked for the most part. It's got arrows or spears in the back of it to imply him reloading his gun. These aren't removable, though. They're just fixed in, so we'll put that back there, and the hole is not lined up for his armor. There we go. I said there we go. His armor is shifting down from his actual back peg, so... Okay. It's actually a little bit hard to get this in. There we go. Now it is in properly. And for weaponry, he has his own little knife here. A very fancy knife. It's got a painted blade, too, which is pretty cool to see. So he can get that in there. That is a tight fit. So you can have him cutting up Joes or Cobras or whoever you want the Dreadnoks to be fighting. So that is a fun little piece. Nice sculpt. I believe this is a new knife. I don't think we've seen this weapon anywhere before. I believe all these weapons are new. And he also has a hilt on the back of his belt for that. And he has his own pistol, a different mold from the Saw Vipers. Again, I don't know what type of pistol this is, if this is a real-world pistol, but this one looks a little bit more real-world-like to me. So we'll get this one in the hand, too, just to see him with it. Get that trigger finger locked in there, so he can hold that and go shoot, 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 shoot with it. But he's also, of course, got this holster right here on the chest, which even has a little strap going over it, which is pretty nice. That strap definitely does not open up, so we'll just have to slide the pistol in here, and we can pull the strap around it, hopefully. Oh, it does come off. I didn't think it would. Let's just show that again, because I didn't quite see if the camera caught that. So yeah, apparently that strap does open up, so that is pretty nice, but we will buckle that back in so that that pistol is nice and secure in there. And he does have this other type of blade, hatchet-like weapon. I don't know what this would be called. I've never really seen a tool like this, but it's interesting. I do think it has a nice feel to it. It honestly kind of feels like it maybe should be bigger. I don't know. This feels like a giant weapon that should be swung around, but it looks tiny because it is tiny, relatively. But it's interesting. It's different. We've definitely never seen a weapon like this before, but not my favorite. And I assume that goes into this holster right here, but what would be the right way to holster this? I guess like this? Or maybe this way? That can't be right. Oop. Is that really... Again, we will pull the box back just to see if that gives us any hints. So apparently that is the way it goes in. Maybe it can get in a little deeper. No, that seems to be the right way to do it. It doesn't look bad. I do kind of wish I could get it in a little bit more, a little bit lower. I guess I could just pull the holster down his thigh a little bit more, though, at least a little bit, because eventually it would just probably tear from being down that far. But yeah, and then he has his spear gun. Was the original Zandar weapon a spear gun? I'm not perfectly familiar with every single O-Ring figure, and as Zandar's file card states, he's the most forgotten of the family, and that includes the fandom, so I haven't seen him featured in as many videos or toy photos as his siblings, so I've definitely forgotten what his vintage weapon was, if it was a proper spear gun, or actually, I think I just had a memory. Wasn't it like a spear trident? I think I just instantly remembered what his weapon was, or I'm mistaking it for someone else's weapon. So I guess he did have a kind of spear gun, but Now he's got a more proper looking one, and yeah, he can hold this too. That's probably obvious. If he can hold the pistol, he could hold this. Might be a little bit harder to get that trigger finger in. Just get that wiggled in there. There we go. And you know what? He's looking pretty nice with it. You know, I do appreciate a more unique weapon than just another rifle, another gun, another blaster. So that's a pretty fun addition. And you know what? Zandar isn't the best thing ever, but I'm liking him. I do like him. I think he is the better of the two, even though I definitely enjoyed the Saw Viper. I think I'm more happy with Zandar, and that's nice because I did want to complete the family, so I'm glad that I'm happy with him. And speaking of the family, we'll bring in Zartan, Stand Man Stand, and Zarana just to see the three siblings together. And yes, they look very, very nice. Obviously, Zandar and Zarana match more because they were designed at the same time. I'm really shocked the two of them weren't designed to match with Zartan more. But the three of them still look good together. If anything, in Classified, Zandar almost feels more like an in-between of these two, which he definitely didn't in the O-Ring stuff in, like, the 80s. But here he feels more like the proper bridge between their aesthetics. Actually, that's pretty cool. So really the only member of the family we don't have yet is Zanya, Zartan's daughter, and she's more obscure, so it might take a while to get her, but I'm sure she'll happen one day. And we'll bring in Saw Viper again, just to see him next to the family as well. But we'll actually pull him away for a bit and zoom out a little bit more and get a proper Dreadnok's group shot here with Ripper, Torch, Buzzer. Where can we put Buzzer? We might have to pull Zandar forward a bit since this is his video, his time to shine. We'll put Buzzer in here. And then my least favorite, figure-wise, not character-wise, Road Pig. He will go back here because we don't need to see the full of him. And his good buddy, Ruckus, will go right here. And that is the complete Classified Dreadnoks as of right now anyway. I'm sure we'll get more of the team at some point, but right now, this is all there is. And I'm happy with the newest member. I'm happy with the three siblings, which to me are the most important Dreadnoks. I really wish I liked Road Pig. This might be my least favorite figure in Classified. I never got to do a video of him at the time, but I really don't like him. He's about to fall over. He's about to fall over. One of the many reasons I don't like him. And I've talked about Buzzer and Ripper. I don't think I did a video on Torch. I've already forgotten my own videos. But I definitely shared my opinions on these two. The three Blue Jeans guys, they're okay. They're just not my favorites. But the family here, the family and Ruckus. I like Ruckus. These four are all pretty decent. Really good. Zarana's probably still my favorite. I might put Zandar a little bit above Zartan, though. Because, I mean, Zartan wasn't my favorite Classified figure at the time, either. And I'm not a big fan of his hood piece. I think it stays on better when he's wearing his fake mask, his fake face here. But, like this, it kind of falls off a lot. So Zandar might be my second favorite Dreadnok in Classified. And you know what? That's a good place to be. That's a good standing for him. But we'll get the family out of the way for now, and we'll bring back in his wave mate, the Saw Viper, and just look at the two of them together, and Yeah. Saw Viper, pretty fun, but he doesn't do that much special. He really is just another troop, but he's a different type, and I think he does what he's supposed to do. And Xandar's not that much of a knockout of the park either, but he is fun, he's striking, he is unique in his own right. He's definitely the better of the two here, and I'm pretty happy with both of these figures. And even though I'm scaling back with Classified, I'm being a lot more particular about who I want. I still think of these collector based 6-inch toy lines, I still think it is the best one around and easily the most fun. So, yeah, I definitely like both of these figures, but Xandar's the winner. Xandar's the winner. Good job, Xandar. Good for you. So, I think I've rambled on enough here. Thank you all for watching, and see you guys around.
Greetings, fool! This is Cobra Commander, saying that if you want a good standing in the New World Order, that you shall subscribe to this channel and support our glorious cause!